Remember him? Well, if you don't, that's Duane Davis, better known as Keefe D. He's the only man ever arrested in connection to the murder of hip-hop and rap legend Tupac Shakur. Well, he's in the headlines once again, facing a new charge, one that he got while already in jail.
We have an update now on Duane Keefe D. Davis. He's charged in the murder of Tupac Shakur. Davis was in court again this morning after a fight with another inmate.
So we got like the stupidest update in the Tupac murder investigation. For those of you who don't know, Tupac was murdered like decades ago. Keefe D like ran his mouth on the internet and basically admitted that he was involved with the whole thing. And then he tried to say that Diddy paid him $1 million to have Tupac killed.
Duane Keefe D. Davis, a key figure in the case surrounding Tupac Shakur, is facing new legal trouble while awaiting trial. Reports from January 29, 2025 revealed that he was involved in a physical altercation at the Clark County Detention Center in Las Vegas. Surveillance footage captured Keefe D engaged in a confrontation with another inmate before officers intervened using pepper spray. As a result, he has been charged with battery. He has claimed that he was standing his ground and acting in self-defense during the incident.
Duane Davis is answering for a jailhouse brawl. Here's what court records show, along with images from surveillance video released by Las Vegas Justice Court. On December 23rd, Davis was being escorted back into his cell when another inmate, Rockland Hamilton, who's also facing a murder charge, is standing to the right by a sink in this room. Hamilton walked over to Davis and squared up, looking ready to fight. They started throwing punches and grappling, and the officer escorting Davis called for backup, gave verbal commands too for the inmates to stop fighting, and then hit them with pepper spray. Before backup officers arrived, the two inmates kept grappling and throwing punches and were eventually separated after backup officers got into the room. Both Davis and Hamilton face battery by prisoner charges.
The 61-year-old allegedly fought with another inmate in the Clark County Detention Center. Just 2 days before Christmas, the former Southside Compton Crips gang member was being taken back to his housing unit when he and another inmate got into a fight. Allegedly. According to a report by ABC News, the two inmates allegedly were hitting each other in the face or head, and they were both pepper sprayed, but continued to fight until they had to be separated. When asked about the fight days later, Keefe D reportedly told officers he was just standing his ground.
This new charge could complicate his legal battle, as his credibility is already under scrutiny. With a trial approaching, any additional charges or behavioral concerns could impact the way the court views him.
He appeared in court on the new battery charge on Tuesday, and the bail was set for $50,000. But Keefe D already has a six-figure bail amount on the murder charge, which is why he's already in jail in the first place. Many of us know the story already. Tupac was in Vegas in '96 with Suge Knight for the Mike Tyson fight. But who also was there? Keefe D and his nephew Orlando Anderson, as well as other gang members from the Southside Crips. Orlando Anderson already had issues with members of Death Row's entourage and the rival gang Mob Piru. Both groups were leaving the fight at the MGM Hotel when members of Death Row spotted Orlando and a huge brawl broke out. Footage from that night showed Tupac kicking and punching Orlando over and over and over again. Now this is where Keefe D allegedly steps in. Prosecutors have argued Keefe D called the shots seemingly so his nephew could get revenge.
Prosecutors may argue that the altercation demonstrates a pattern of aggression which could influence their strategy against him.
They're not only ugly on the outside, but they're ugly on the inside too.
Duane Keefe D. Davis lashing out at prosecutors during another hearing about releasing him on bail.
And you just use something in the boxes. They just use something in the boxes. From 1996.
Those boxes contain a 2006 interview from a gang member who prosecutors say implicates Davis in Shakur's murder.
He makes that statement 2 years before any confession the defendant ever made.
But speaking out of turn, Davis says he believes those boxes came from retired LAPD detective Greg Kading, who interviewed Davis as part of the investigation into the death of rapper Notorious B.I.G.
Meanwhile, the consequences of his latest charge could include extended confinement, loss of privileges, or limitations on communication with his attorneys, making his defense more difficult to organize.
In a recorded interview, Davis told Kading what happened in Shakur's case, believing he would have immunity.
Boxes should not be allowed. I've been at his house for 15 years, and he's doing interviews, going in the boxes.
Well, Tuesday's hearing centered on that new evidence. The main reason was Davis's bail, the judge denying Davis's first attempt over concerns the man putting up the more than $112,000 was really a middleman. She also said she was concerned Davis could profit off the alleged crime, but Davis's attorney says no law prevents that until a person is convicted.
Beyond the recent incident in custody, Keefe D has also been making headlines for his past statements involving music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. For years, he has claimed that Diddy played a role in orchestrating a plan against Tupac.
Well, in fact, there was the rumor that after Pac got killed, Puffy gave Zip $1 million that was supposed to be handed over, and Zip ended up keeping it. And I remember when I interviewed TK Kirkland, who was actually roommates with Zip at one point. They were that close. He actually said, yeah.
The Fed said that too.
He said that shit actually happened.
According to Keefe D, Diddy allegedly offered him $1 million to target both Tupac and Suge Knight during the height of the East Coast-West Coast music feud.
Well, the story that has circulated was that after Tupac got killed, Puffy allegedly gave the money,
I heard,
to Zip.
Yes.
And Zip was supposed to give the money to Keefe and them.
Yes.
But he never gave the money to him.
But thank God he never gave him the money, right? Think about it. If he gave the money, Puffy will be in prison now, money for hire, a murder for hire. So thank God. It's just a true story. I'm not saying yes or no, but if he would have gave them the money, it'd have been a murder for hire and Puffy would be locked up.
What made it a specific, like, hey, I'm serious, I want you guys to kill these guys? I mean,
when he told me the greenback.
How's it go? How's the conversation go? I mean, okay, listen, I'll do it, but I need $500,000, or, I've got somebody who will do it, but I need $300,000. I mean, we need really specific details regarding that.
Yeah, we wanted $1 million.
You said you walked downstairs. Did he say, come meet me downstairs?
Yeah, he said, come on downstairs and talk to me.
Oh. He tells you, seriously, man, I need to get rid of these guys. I mean, he's looking at you in the eyes and he's like scared.
Yeah.
In your opinion, the specific reason he asked you to come downstairs and talk to him was about that thing, not about liquor or anything. It was about that. Okay. You tell him we'll do it for $1 million, and he's like, okay, I'll do it for $1 million. He agrees. You shake on it or something like that.
He like, man, we'll wipe out quick. It's nothing.
Who brought up the amount of $1 million?
He did.
Puffy did?
Yeah.
Okay. Wasn't you?
No, it wasn't me.
The speculations stem from the intense East Coast-West Coast rivalry that was dominating the hip-hop scene in the 1990s, particularly between Diddy's Bad Boy Records and Suge Knight's Death Row Records. Tupac, a key figure in the West Coast hip-hop scene, had a well-known feud with both Diddy and Biggie Smalls, who was signed to Bad Boy.
So Diddy killed Tupac and Biggie Smalls? Am I hearing this right? Prosecutors confirmed that Diddy's name was used 77 times in documentation alleging that Diddy was the one that put the hit out on Tupac. Keefe D, the man who is convicted of and has admitted to killing Tupac, confirms that Diddy offered him $1 million for the hit. So back in the 90s, Diddy was doing a West Coast tour and hired Keefe D to be his bodyguard. Keefe D says it's at that time that Diddy offered him $1 million to kill Tupac.
Over time, this rivalry led to a lot of speculation about who might have been behind Tupac's tragedy. Some believe that Diddy could have played a role, either directly or indirectly, in escalating tensions that contributed to Tupac's tragic end.
And if you're thinking Keefe D just brought this up now because Diddy's already in a heap of shit, you're wrong. Court records indicate this was brought to the prosecutor's attention back in 2009. Now, Eminem has stepped it up a notch, saying that not only did Diddy kill Tupac, he killed Biggie Smalls too.
Tupac Shakur, one of the most influential rappers and cultural icons of the 1990s, tragically passed away on September 13, 1996, at the age of 25. His demise remains one of the most enduring mysteries in hip-hop history. On the night of September 7, 1996, Tupac became the victim of multiple attacks in a drive-by incident in Las Vegas, Nevada, while he was riding in a car driven by his friend, Marion Suge Knight, the CEO of Death Row Records.
How did this iconic rapper die? On September 7th, 1996, Tupac Shakur was in Las Vegas, attending the boxing match of Mike Tyson versus Bruce Seldon. While leaving the match with Suge Knight, the former CEO of Death Row Records, Tupac and his bodyguards began fighting with Orlando Anderson in the lobby of the MGM Grand Casino. Anderson was a member of the Crips gang. After the brawl, Suge and Tupac left in Suge's car, a BMW 750 sedan, stopping at Suge's house first and then heading to a club.
The attacker, who aimed from another vehicle, struck Tupac in the chest, pelvis, and arm. Tupac was rushed to the hospital, where he underwent multiple surgeries. Despite his injuries, he remained conscious for several days, speaking with police and his loved ones. However, the trauma from the injuries was too severe, and after 6 days in the hospital, Tupac succumbed to his wounds.
While they were stopped at the intersection of Flamingo and Koval, a white Cadillac pulled up beside them and shot out of the window into Suge Knight's car, hitting both Tupac and Suge. 4 bullets hit Tupac. He was taken to the University Medical Center and placed on life support in a medically induced coma. He did die 6 days after the shooting on September 13th, 1996. He was 25 years old. Las Vegas police never arrested anyone in connection with the murder, and the case remains unsolved. There are many theories surrounding Tupac's death, but I'm very interested in knowing what you guys think about all this.
Gene Deal, a former associate of Diddy and a bodyguard for Notorious B.I.G., has been outspoken in his suspicions about Diddy's involvement in the events surrounding both Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls' tragedies.
How you feel about the people that say Biggie was asking for him coming to LA so soon after Tupac got killed and him getting on the radio rapping Long Kiss Goodnight?
Man, you would get 100 people in the room, and out of the 100 people, probably 3 would say it was all right for Big to be in LA. 97% of those people would say he had no business in LA at that time. We all knew that. Why would Puff rent studio time? Come on, man, look.
One of the most significant allegations he's made is that Diddy intentionally brought Biggie to Los Angeles in March 1997, despite knowing the city was a volatile environment. At that time, tensions between East Coast and West Coast hip-hop artists were at an all-time high, and the feud was widely known to have put lives at risk.
You gotta look at what people do, man. You know Pac just got killed. It ain't no kind of business Big was doing. Big couldn't even walk, he couldn't run. They was pushing him around in a wheelchair, brother. Why the hell would you rent studio time in LA for him to finish your album when in fact you got your own studio, Daddy's house? Let's keep it a buck. Let's stop this bullshit, man.
Deal has suggested that Diddy's actions, particularly in arranging Biggie's trip to LA, might have been a deliberate move, given the dangerous atmosphere that had already been established between the two coasts. He believes that Diddy's decision to send Biggie to LA was reckless, especially considering the heightened risk following Tupac's attack in September 1996, just months before.
Y'all want the sheep? I'm gonna put them out the pasture. Catch him if you can. If you the wolf, if you got that wolf in you, catch him if you can. Why in the hell you would put your man in a situation by sending him to Cali to work on your album when you know?
Many have speculated that Diddy's involvement in the East Coast-West Coast rivalry, whether directly or indirectly, might have played a role in the tragic end of both legendary rappers.
Not his Nimitz, but your Nimitz was just murdered by niggas that you was running with. Why would you do that? Oh, they just wanted to do business. Business my ass, man. No homo.
A resurfaced report now suggests that in 2009, Keefe D cooperated with law enforcement in an undercover capacity. As part of an investigation into both Tupac and the Notorious B.I.G., he allegedly attempted to collect information that would connect Diddy to the situation.
The man accused of his murder is now claiming that Sean Diddy Combs once ordered a hit on the rap icon. In a recent court filing, a 2009 interview between police and Duane Keefe D. Davis is making headlines yet again, as Davis is claiming that Diddy told him he would give anything for that dude's head, in reference to both Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur. Now, according to the Davis, the beef stemmed from the continuous taunting of Combs by the iconic rapper. Now, this is a proffer done with former LAPD detective Greg Kading, and in that, Davis made a similar claim about Diddy's disdain for Tupac and Suge.
If these reports are accurate, it indicates that Keefe D may have worked with authorities to implicate the music executive. However, the extent of any information he provided remains unclear, and it is not known whether his cooperation led to any significant developments.
So it's Pharrell, you, Puffy, Zip, and a bunch of Southsiders. And what Puffy makes kind of an announcement?
Yeah, that was stupid as hell too, you know.
What did you actually hear? What was the words, the best you can remember, what he says?
He said he'd give us anything for them dudes there, you know?
Give us 5 names of people who would say, yeah, we heard Puffy say that. You don't have to come from, they don't.
Al, Corey, Wynn, Dirt Rock, all of them was tell you.
Recently, Keefe D's legal team submitted a tape as evidence, which allegedly contains a conversation that further involves Diddy in the events surrounding Tupac. While the details of this recording have not been publicly disclosed, the existence of such material has intensified speculation that Keefe D is attempting to shift attention away from himself by pointing to another well-known figure.
I think these accusations were said back in 2009, but the fact that Diddy has so much going on right now and that he is currently under fire, I think it now leads some credence to what people have been saying for years about Sean Diddy Combs and how he moves and how he operates. But whether it's true or not, we need more evidence, more people to confirm, and more facts that tie in from an investigative standpoint that these allegations and accusations could be accurate.
Right. Sonny, as you're talking, I'm thinking I want to hear more. Exactly. I want to hear more. I think we all do.
Taking this to death review? And okay, the state is not seeking going to death review on this, so are you prepared?
Yes.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yes, Mr.
What
Davis.
does that mean?
Okay, I'm asked in every murder case in every first-degree murder case, I have to ask the state if they are going to commit to a committee to try to seek the death penalty. I just asked them that and they said no. Does that make sense? Okay, so in light of that, Mr. Davis, sir, what is your full name?
Duane Keefe Davis.
How old are you?
60.
Sir, are you currently under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcoholic beverages at this time? As to that charge, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty. Get Mr. Goodman back on board as my attorney.
Okay.
Diddy has continuously denied any connection to Tupac's case. His representatives have called Keefe D's claims pure fiction and dismissed them as an attempt to mislead the public. In past interviews, Diddy has stated that he had nothing to do with the events that led to Tupac's passing, asserting that people are just looking for someone to blame.
My entrepreneurs, all my hustlers, do not think that you're the only one that's having a hard time, okay? I'm having a hard time at my level. There's always different levels to it, and there's different levels to the hard time. But we all having a hard time achieving what we want to achieve. People in outrage, bureaucracy, red tape, hit that button, get to it, and get it done.
Now, Combs has long denied any involvement with Tupac's murder. He's never been charged. Our question this morning, how believable is Keefe D's Diddy accusation?
All the crazy conspiracies about the death of hip-hop icon Tupac Shakur, it seems like none of them involved a 50-year-old cancer patient getting arrested almost 30 years later for being involved in that fateful situation that took out one of the pioneers of hip-hop. And apparently, his death had a huge connection to a hip-hop powerhouse and Diddy, who apparently financed the whole thing.
You said you lost your empire because of Puffy. Why you say that?
I did. If I wouldn't have never met him, I would have never been involved in this bull.
But it seems like the Las Vegas PD is finally had enough of Keefe D going on the internet and explaining his involvement in the Tupac murder to multiple news sources, book sources, and just going on a general press release. So they apparently arrested him today in connection with the murder and indicted him, man. We gotta talk about the ongoing situation with Las Vegas native and former
Keefe D's statements over the years have been inconsistent, making it difficult to determine the full truth. In his 2019 memoir, Compton Street Legend, he openly admitted to being in the car from which the shots were fired at Tupac on the Las Vegas Strip.
They focus a lot on that Tupac stuff, but they don't really look at...
It's bigger than Tupac, homie. This ain't all about Tupac, this is about me.
Yeah, and then the book's called Compton Street Legend. So I want to kind of go through there, and it kind of starts off where you're going to the liquor store, and there's 8 dudes coming, like running down the street with bats and chains, and you like kind of look back and see where they're going, and you kind of realize they're coming for you. So kind of how is that kind of like your intro?
Yeah.
However, he placed the responsibility on his nephew, Orlando Anderson, claiming that he was the one who acted. Since then, his narrative has shifted multiple times, leading many to question whether he is providing truthful information or simply attempting to save himself.
I went up there in my 68 Chevy, came out the store, and the dudes was in the corner. And they had, and I didn't know we had my homies that got into it with the night before. I didn't know. So came out the store, they hit the corner, and I seen they was coming for me, so I jumped in my car, and somehow they got my other side door open, and they jumped me, rushed me, fucked me up pretty good, gave me a little concussion and shit. So I went around my house, got my machine gun and my 9mm, went around there, and on the route, a dude house. One of the dude houses right there.
For Diddy to face any legal consequences, investigators would need concrete evidence beyond Keefe D's testimony. Witness statements alone are rarely enough to build a case, especially when the individual making the claims has a history of contradictions. Currently, there is no active investigation linking Diddy to the events of 1996, but Keefe D's continued accusations have renewed public interest in the topic.
I don't know how many of you were alive and paying attention back then, but that absolutely 100% makes sense and checks out. Like, I believe it. But the prosecutors in the case said that they don't, and they're not even looking at Diddy as a possible suspect. He's got booty videos of you, doesn't he? That's the only answer to that. He's definitely got videos of you either getting your booty hole played with or you playing with somebody else's booty hole, because I'm not buying none of this. Hearing you say that he ain't got nothing to do with Tupac's murder, the only thing that I hear is that he's got you in 4K. The other thing they said is bad news for Keefe D. They are not trying to let him get released pre-trial because they found the person that they're gonna take down for Tupac's murder.
Like when we got hit with Hit 'Em Up, I had to make the call to Biggie, and I said, we not gonna respond. Somebody's gonna get hurt if we respond. Tupac hit us with Hit 'Em Up, and that joint was cold. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to that. You know, we were actually like on people's turntable. A DJ would play that. We would just end the party and just
take that off.
No, we would take the turntable. We would take your turntables. You played Hit 'Em Up.
What do you think about Keefe D's latest legal troubles and his accusations against Diddy? Do you believe his claims, or is he just trying to shift the blame? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.